Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching episodes 2 and 3 of the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Very excited to jump back in here with some more Isekai shenanigans. Evil little girl, she's back at it, she's still at large, and we need to figure some more stuff out about her. And again, generally what the kind of idea of the show is. Again, as I went into last week, it's kind of even hard to judge the show as it stands right now. It's kind of just... it's what it says on the tin right now. I'm waiting for the extra layer, which potentially we're getting this episode, I think. Either way, I should do what I do when I start every single video on the channel. Let's look at the YouTube comments from last week from the patrons. So again, if you wanted to talk to me directly about the show and have direct feedback in this kind of format, potentially Patreon is a thing that you would be interested in, right? This is kind of what I'm going to do every week. So if you want to tell me shit, that's the best way to tell me shit, other than Discord, I guess, which is free. You can just do that whenever. First up on the list, we have Pencil Sharp. That goes into a few things here. We're going to start with the first paragraph, which would be apt. Winter 2025 refers to the currently airing season. So Season 2 was announced a while ago, and it's kind of radio silent. So... don't know. For my intents and purposes, it means I don't need to worry about reacting to the sequel until it's out, I guess. The same team in that same kind of period made Blue Giant and that fishing anime I talked about last week, so unsure what's going on there. Sounds like a weird one. Seems like Saga of Tanya the Evil is placing itself in a similar niche to other military otaku type shows. I'm thinking Your Girls and Panzer. There has to be some others, but that's the one that I've got the most experience with. With the light novel going more into detail about the tactics and strategy, this is how Pencil Sharp got into this whole shebang that is anime, through this, World War I interest into Violet Evergarden, into probably the Kyoto Animation thing, if I'm thinking correctly here. And then these days, I think it's Magical Girl. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Point being that this show is going to be very much in that kind of lane. Again, if you're into your history, into your World War I type stuff, then you're probably going to get a lot out of it. It's probably going to be something that particularly interests you. And again, it interests me as well. I'm just not particularly cognizant of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm bad at picking up the references. So again, when people go into all the details and stuff, I find it quite fascinating. So please keep doing it. I do like that stuff. And yeah, this last paragraph here, we go into this a little bit later as well, but apparently the title in Japanese doesn't have evil in it. So that's kind of something that the English just kind of added. I guess it makes it a little bit snappier, like just calling her straight up evil. I think that's pretty interesting. But needless to say, it's not intended from the very title of the text for her to be evil per se, even if she is or is not. Again, I've seen an episode, it's hard to say. But then we have Sal with the exact kind of, not opposite point, but yeah, I love evil protagonists. That's an oxymoron. Kind of. I don't know. The closest analog, and this is going to be a weird one, like the video game Destroy All Humans, you're technically playing the bad guy, but you're the protagonist, if that makes any sense. The story is about you and your journey there. So is it similar here? Or is there going to be some amount of emotional pathos that makes me want to root for Tanya, even if she's objectively not doing the right thing on a moral level? Anyway, we should watch the show. I think watching the show will answer this question. Next up, we have Kelvin, who's just shilling Aoyuki. Aoyuki's fantastic. I'm completely and totally with you. I will say the one I should have mentioned last week was probably Spider Isekai, right? That's another isekai where it's literally being carried by one character pretty much, which seems very similar to Tanya at the moment. And again, I think her work in Symphogear is amazing. Really loved her stuff in Apothecary Diaries as well. Everything is fantastic. It's very good. Even this. I didn't even know that was a thing, sure. Jesus Christ. I'm watching a lot of Seven Deadly Sins at the moment, against my will, send help. And then in the replies here, we just have Bamps shilling Symphogear, so, situation normal. Speaking of Bamps, Bamps is the next 4 comments. Very cool. First one, just saying that Tanya's one of the best isekais out there. in its short runtime thus far, that's pretty impressive, right? If it's 12 episodes in a movie, you must be doing something right to earn that kind of moniker, right? Tanya was born in 1914, so she's like 9 or so in the first episode, because it takes place in 1923 from memory. Interesting. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Born in 1914 is interesting too. Very particular year in history, if you know, you know. Well, this is a fun detail. It seems that each and every kind of nation or faction in this show will have a different flight method. So they've got the movement system where they can essentially fly through the air, right? We see that ours, the kind of Imperials, the Empire, whatever we're calling ourselves, it was odd. We're the boot at the moment, which is very cool. And then we had like the British, whether the French, it was hard to say. The Republic, they have the horses. And again, when we're doing like the chess piece stuff on the board, that's why that's relevant as well. Yeah, it's just a cool detail as it stands right now. And yeah, similar comment to before, just to set some expectations, the Japanese title of the show translates to The Military Chronicles of a Little Girl as opposed to Tanya the Evil, right? Like, part of the show's appeal has to come from that kind of gap moe is the wrong word, but the gap, the difference between, you know, expectations and reality. Little girls shouldn't be doing war. Like, that's half the like fun here, right? Is that's the isekai. That's kind of like the joke that we need to like lean into more, I think. Like, I want to see some people like, what? You're not supposed to be here. Again, maybe it's just a very different show to that kind of thing. And rounding us out here, we have Jeremero. The lollies should not have access to magical nukes. I'm gonna have to agree with you there, buddy. No. Nobody should have access to nukes if we're going to be completely serious about that, but it's neither here nor there. Let's shout out the patrons. Let's do that. So again, if you wanted to be that 1 week ahead, there'll be more episodes up if you're watching this publicly, and again, $6 a month. It's linked in the description below. I think it's pretty cool. You guys should check it out, I guess. Many people have checked it out, such as Mickey Babbers, Strauss++, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bobbin, Chobe Ribby, Christopher Konechny, Dapper Dwarf, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Ferdinand Hernando, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glank, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Inzuchi, Yako Yavnen, Jacob R, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Lick H, Lou, Marsh, Master Detective, Mistake L. Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlight B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Warp V, Without a Net, Yuankai Shu, Yuki Ali, Zach, Akamansa, Binchi, Voodoo Chili, Funny Fat Guy, and Ice. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. Last week, we were introduced to Tanya. She was broadly evil. She had some... Again, she was kind of like the second lieutenant, I think was her title. Not like high up in the army, but enough to have command over some people. One of those people was Visha. Visha seems pretty nice, but that's neither here nor there. I'm more interested in the other two, right? They were like technically dissenting. They didn't listen to orders. They didn't take her seriously. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? She basically set up for them to die. She put them in a very good chance of them, like a high probability chance of them dying. On purpose. Again, that's her own people. Again, she's gonna crack the whip pretty hard here, we think, right? She is also infamous. We had that other character in the kind of meeting that was basically like, oh my god, she's the silver wing or whatever, right? She's like the devil reborn. She's the devil in real life, is Tanya. So again, we're going to see probably some backstory there that's going to fill in why he feels that way about her. The other element to this, of course, as well as it seems like we're referencing a salaryman here a fair bit. Are we going to then go back before... Because I know it's an isekai, right? Are we going to go back before she was isekai to see what they were like before? I don't know. It's worth a shot, I guess. With that being said, I think the best way to jump in here is to just start the episode. So yeah, Tanya the Evil, episode 2 coming right up. Like the video, subscribe, Discord, Patreon. Let's jump in. Rightio, episode 2 of Tanya the Evil up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 41 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. That copy is authored by Tenrai Sensei on Nya, so get that copy if you want specifically that copy, but I think the subs are going to be pretty similar to whatever else is out there. That said, there still is a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Cloudy sky. Oh. Okay, like instantly? Alright. Cool. Oh yeah, the show, like, looks gorgeous. Now I remember. A week is a long time. Interesting. So yeah, this is the same thing as last week with her, like, sending the dudes to their death. Because I'm imagining this is Tanya, right? Damn. You're sadistic as fuck. Oh, little look at the eyes there. I thought we were going to do a thing where we didn't show them. Huh. Yeah, but to what end? What motivates you? An easy life. Oh! Is that the same guy that pushed you? Yeah. Huh. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. And then here comes the Isekai, of course. Ooh. I do love rain stopping in the air. It's one of my favorite kind of tropes. Mm-hmm. Do you have to clock that book as well? I don't know. You got pushed and then time stopped. Huh? Who the fuck? It's kind of freaky. I like that. God? I wonder how this is written in the light novel. Exactly, yep. I'm an atheist. Huh. There was a lot of stuff last week about angels and devils and stuff. I'm, like, literally dying. Heh. Oh, Halo music. This guy's dialogue's very funny. Oh, Overlord, based. Uh, that voice. Interesting. Whatever you say, mysterious presence. Alright. So it's like the setup for the Isekai. It's like a test of faith almost. Ugh. Freaky looking. The hair's funny. So I think I picked up Aoyuki as the baby in that scene before there as well. That's kind of funny. If my ear's correct on that, I don't know. There you go. 1913 to be specific. Poor nunnery. So who are your parents? You don't know. Very similar. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at the crowd. The CG boys are out in force. I put the brain scanner on and she has the juice? I see, so this is how this works. Yeah, so then he got conscripted. Okay. Get a career, just like I used to. Because it's unproductive. That's very funny. But... oh, fun. Okay. Saying all the right things. Objectively hilarious. Not guaranteed. I don't think it's gonna happen regardless. Okay, there's the thing. Is that your goal, to get revenge? That's kind of funny. But... Okay, straight into management. Well, you'll shape up pretty quick, I'll tell you that. Zetsubo. She'll prove it. Don't test her, gangster. And here's this guy from last week. Rerugen. Gotta commit that one to memory? There's the sound design again as well. They were talking shit. Talk shit. Get hit. Ew. What was that sound? It's like a bag of milk. Murder. Kill him. Fuck him. Minor issues. Now, I think this was referenced last week as well. You said that you never wanted to go back. Something like that. Who the hell is that guy? Mr. Eyebrows himself. Where are we? Really? These episodes are very, like, jam-packed. Okay. So I think last week we said that we fought some of their, like, elite mages or whatever. The same people we, like, kicked their ass last week, really, but, like... So there's gonna be some, like, mage-on-mage combat here. Murder them all. Look at them scatter like bugs. Brinkmanship is definitely a word. Did they just, like, not know that... Anyway, whatever. Their tactics aside... Cunningham? Oh no. It's just so easy. Nothing will possibly ever go wrong. Bitches? That was a really cool scene. I like that sequence. A lot of tension there. Well, it's kind of hard to talk at the moment. She certainly is very professional. 10 minutes? Oh shit. That was really fun too. Because, like, that's how long I had to eat at my old job type vibes. Okay. Let's delay. Yeah, that line there's kind of funny now too with all our yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm happy that the show picked that up too. Okay, here come the enemies. What's the plan, Tanya? Okay, she's going crazy? Yeah, very crazy. Well, if you make it work, come on. Money where your mouth is and all that. The skis are very fun too. Ooh, figure eight. So do you use magic to avoid, like, explosions as well? Can you, like, block them? I think that's what's happening. Let's turn it down ever so slightly too. Very loud in the fight scenes. Oh, here's the song again too. And the violence. Well, more than badly wounded, he's got no arm, mate. Like, what are we to do? Oh, a show of weakness. Oh, unless. Yeah, so all that kind of godlike framing last week is coming into sharper focus now in the plot. Oh! Oh, the eye stuff. We never got the eye stuff again. Okay, she went boom. Yeah, but is she okay, or...? Later. Okay, no, she's fine. Oh, interesting. I see. Unless... Well, that's good though, right? You are. Thanks. That's good though. You wanted to prove that you can make it. Yeah. But oh yeah, okay. You kind of wanted to get in and get out and not have the easy life, but you know what I mean. Where again now they think that you're the ace, but you are though. Age of 9. Who the hell are you? Okay. I guess we'll find out next episode. Great point, show. We haven't got an opening yet or an ED yet. Which I still don't think that this is the opening nor the ED. Well, the song maybe, but like the visuals aren't. This sounds like Myth and Road. Pretty sure it is. So I'm pretty sure this is the opening. Yeah, I mean, the themings like of the show are very interesting. Like it's just unconventional, I guess, for Isekai, especially to have it's kind of like that kind of unimpressed, over it protagonist in an Isekai before it became cooler to do it later on, right? And less, and in a different way than other shows, I think, right? So again, you keep like failing upwards is the wrong word, but you don't want to do this, but you've fallen into this, right? And I think that's just going to keep happening. But again, you also have these moments where you kind of lock in and you like live the kind of truth of those words too. Where you actually do seem like the ace and are evil per se. Yeah, just I didn't expect it. Didn't expect it from the show. Anyway, now we're back. Visha. Oh, we get a photo done? Oh, this is going to be tragic. That's funny. Oh, she loves it. Huh. I was going to say it's fine, but no, it's not. Like, Visha must be thinking, what the fuck? Like, this person, like, murdered giga people, like, last week. Like, a lot of people. Anyway, I digress. Next episode 3 coming right up. Radio episode 3 of Tanya the Evil up there ready to go. What is this? 23 minutes and 41 seconds on that one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. Same version as last time, and there will be a picture-in-picture version in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Mm-hmm. Oh, straight into deployment again. I think you're gonna be... Oh, hang on. We'll take it. Being a teacher. I could be a teacher, dude. Gotta thread that needle now. Okay. I was expecting things to go worse there. Ooh, is this like the tease from last week? Super Mega Giga Joule opening. Oh, now this thing's juiced out of its mind. Hardy, hardy, ha. Oh, and then she's fucking dead. Tanya died. No. No, she's fine. Fingers crossed. Finally, this opening, too. Steins Gate vibes. Okay, the gangs here. They look like they had designs, too. Was that the Nutcracker? The hell was that? Or just like a toy soldier? Very much a focus on, like our side there. Not like a real villainous presence, unless. Not like a real villainous presence to any of these people. That almost looked like the guy from last episode. Like, does he come back? Maybe. Higher and higher, you say? Deus Vult. Whatever you say. That guy looks like a freak. What the hell's going on there? Oh. Krusty the Clown? Adelheid? I like this guy. The production continues to be very impressive too, just overall for the show. Okay. Stabilization? What? Huh. Okay, so we played that for comedic relief. Very funny. I'm done with getting exploded. That was an Italian red devil. Oh, look at that strut. Hell yeah. They still just voice acting their ass off, too. Are you not cognizant? What is happening? Revolutionary? A reference? Potentially? Nah, this cunt's mad. Like, I'm off him. I don't like that guy. I mean, I like him, but he's clearly insane. Murphy's Law, right? Ha. Okay, that's a great line, too. Interesting. So this is how we're going to get to the front lines. Oh, so you like have a subconscious thing about keeping her safe? I'd imagine that said denied. No, approved. Oh. Fuck that guy then. We won. Good. Fuck him. Love a coffee, do you? Wait, what is happening? Isekai? We're back? Is the toy soldier gonna speak to me? I don't like talking dolls. Don't. Don't do it. Oh. Okay, the mouth's not moving. We're safe. Well, I mean, technically I have. So, what are you going to do, God? Or being X? A blessing? What kind of blessing? Okay. I'm a giga atheist. We'll see. This person certainly seems powerful. It seems like it's their life's effort to make your life a living hell. I'd maybe relent somewhat. But again, not in her nature. Deus le Volt. Ulto? Sure. Soft V. God wills it. So what does God will? We'll never know. Oh. Huh. Okay. So God's like, let's double down on the crazy science guy. This doesn't seem safe. Look at all those hoses and wires. Like, that can't be good for ya. We pumped her full of juice. And again, spending so much time here in the sky, it's clear to see whoever this being X thing is like very, like, powerful up here. Like, you're closer to them, almost, you know? It came to me in a dream. Yeah. Fantastic. What? Martyrs? I don't want to be a... No. Don't make me do that. We took the safety off. Yeah. Oh, even the kind of crucifix there. Unless... Time paused again? Yes. Now, this is interesting. This seems like a really big thing for the show, is this conflict. Will your pride get in the way, Tanya? Vile piece of shit. What? I didn't say I was going to pray on nothing. Okay, I'll get out of there scot-free. Let's go. Oh, no, I'm a believer. And then I saw her face. Or you're just saying words because you want to get out of here. Okay, here's this gear shit again. The hell? What am I looking at? Okay. Interesting. It's almost like it was like an out-of-body thing for her. Is this going to be like a power-up for the rest of the show? Type area? Oh, he seems almost... Nope. He loves it. Okay. God's plan. Of course. I didn't think he'd be loving it, but maybe I was misreading there. I guess he doesn't want to hurt Tanya. He's just fucking... He's just a quack. Okay, she can still fire nukes. Okay, Visha, what's the go? Ooh. Remember what happened last time to somebody that said the wrong thing now? Murder. I fucking hate being X. we love a cigarette. It's me and the boys. Okay. Yes, the one that I witnessed. Yeah, but like not to the point where you're like gonna kill them. Oh, she also has the MacGuffin. She has the secret power. Where's this coming from? Where's this going? Well, what is it? Please tell me. I just want an apple pie. She's very funny. Yeah, she's just scared shitless. That's so funny. Oh, you're getting promoted. Okay. No answer though. Watch it. Ooh. Just don't tell Tanya that. She might not like it. Oh, from second to first. And back to school. Whenever you think you're gonna have it easy, it just turns back around and becomes not very easy, so... Mm-hmm. It's all manipulation. But, I mean, the show needs to exist, so there must continue to be conflict. Yeah, I don't really want to say that other part. It's not really my thing at the moment. Where are we? Yeah, I thought we were nearing the end, yeah. How about we send in somebody else? Oh, that's a fun cut. It never happens like this, I'm just gonna say it. Rapid response. I reckon Tanya would be good for the job. Yeah, this whole show is just like... Oh! I've seen that picture before, for sure. The hell? Okay, she's being fucked by God again. Whatever that means. Sure, we'll find out next week. ED time! Sure. Okay, yeah, this rips. Even the art's really good, too. Yeah, this song, yeah, it's really good. Okay, but more to the point. I think, again, these 2 episodes did exactly what they needed to do. We now have a way better understanding of what the show's even about. It's more about, like, Tanya versus fucking God than any of the actual Isekai stuff. It's like her versus the control of this world. Where, again, that God wants devotion and worship and all that kind of stuff, prayer. But again, Tanya, even before the Isekai, just so much isn't that kind of person. I may be hearing wrong, but is this like Aoi Yuki on the vocal? Almost sounds like her. Very famously can sing. Yeah, sounds a little bit like her, but I'm famously bad at this kind of stuff. So yes, mission accomplished. I know what the show's about now. It's way less just like an evil person doing evil things. It's got a point. Oh, a nice dress. Are we gonna do like boob envy thing? We'll see. I'm also 10? 9? Campus life? Sure. And yeah, with that being said, I'll probably catch you tomorrow or a little bit later on today. We'll come back for a bit of analysis on those 2 episodes. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Tanya the Evil in the books. And what do we think? I think in retrospect, the kind of way the show presented itself very early is... It's worth a conversation, I guess. What were we trying to do? So I think we're trying to introduce Visha as a character and show her perspective on things before diving into why Tanya is doing any of this and what her motivation is, right? It's important to get the outside perspective on her and her actions before the audience is aware of all the knowledge, right? Now when people later on are like, you're vicious and you're evil and you're this and you're that, we now have basis to believe these people. We were in that position earlier in the show, right? We without the full context, it does seem like she's very fucking evil. Instead, I think her worst crimes are just like being very efficiency pilled and being kind of an atheist. I think those are like the 2 biggest sins per se that she's committing. Again, that kind of philosophy still led to her ultimately sending those 2 guys to their doom, and she didn't really show much remorse for that. So, I don't know. Make your perspective on that how you will. Very similar to how, again, in a very callous way, we have Tanya, or whoever Tanya was before the Isekai, sending this guy to his doom without much thought about it either, right? Not a lot has changed there. You still have kind of that same feeling regarding insignificant people, people that don't follow rules, people that can't contribute their share. This is what I mean by efficiency pilled, like... And if you are not contributing to cause, then you can be cast away. And again, that's not the correct way to live. Like, you don't need me to tell you that, I guess. So again, taking a big step back, do I think the approach from making that first episode how we did, do I think that approach then was successful? Maybe. It'll depend on how the rest of the show goes, but it did set me up with a different set of expectations going into episodes 2 and 3. I thought I was getting a very different thing than what I was getting, right? For the record, I think I enjoy what I'm getting now more than what I thought the show was. So it's a positive change, right? But could you call it just a little teensy little bit false advertising? Probably. Yeah, again, it's going to be less about reconciling Tanya's ethics and more about seeing this kind of omnipotent force exerting its will upon her and how she responds. Which again, like that's a pretty rote, at least these days, isekai structure, right? You have the protagonist that is kind of not self-aware about being in an isekai, but is constantly trying to, I guess, pull away from the isekai fun of it all and the need for glory and this or that, right? They're anti the adventure. I think that can describe a large number of shows these days. And again, if this is what the show continues to be, then now I am quite comfortable. And again, along with the show's stellar production, voice work, sound work, all that kind of other stuff, seems like we're in for a pretty enjoyable time. I've got my bearings, I guess. From there, I guess I can try to theorize where we go with Tanya as a character. What's her growth here? Is it finding out that people that aren't exactly perfect all the time still have worth? Is that through Visha, potentially? Is that through these other characters around her, maybe like a Schwarzkopf or something like that? Does Tanya repent somewhat and become a little bit more cognizant of God and God's influence and start to believe in a greater power, in a higher power other than themselves? I honestly don't know. I don't know where we're going to go from that perspective. I don't know what the end game is yet, but again, I think we have to meet more characters and at least do whatever this campus thing is before I start worrying about that. But either way, I got that off my chest. We can now proceed with the analysis, I guess. So, shock horror, the Saga of Tanya the Evil is an isekai. There is a life before this life in the show. Again, I knew this going in. I thought that we would have led with this if I was honest, but anyway, we didn't. We're introduced to Tanya before Tanya was born. Who was Tanya before Tanya got isekai'd? I would describe Tanya's personality here as, I think we said in the dialogue, like a cost-benefit analysis, but applying that to all of life, right? Even somewhat of, like, aware of them being quite callous and calculating and all these other kind of things, right? But not caring regardless. Like, you people are less than me. You're insignificant because I've done the analysis in my head. You're costing me more than you're benefiting me. Let's cut you off. That kind of stuff, right? Very, very cynical type of way to live, I think. Again, the question there, what reason does the company have to keep you? It's not about your daughter and the tuition and paying rent and all these other kind of things for us, right? What are you going to do for us? Okay, you're not going to do anything? Then bye. See you later. I think the show gets quite funny, again, when we take this same personality to a isekai military type story, where again, in that similar way, you don't care about the ethical ramifications of any of this. If one of your lessers is misbehaving, you will threaten to kill them and potentially go through with it. Again, like if people didn't stop her, she would have went crazy there on the newbies, on the recruits. Equating salaryman culture in Japan with like early 20th century military tactics is quite. It's scornful. It's nice. I like it. Tanya right now also seems like kind of a blowhard. Again, like reading at the train station off work hours. Kind of lame, I don't know. And again, obviously, emphasizing rules. It's all about rules and the code and superiors and all that other kind of stuff, right? That's how the system is meant to work. But again, for Tanya here, I have the same question I had in the reaction, right? What is it that truly motivates you then, right? Why do you do what you do? Is it money motivated? Is it status? Is it a mix of both? Like, if you're not getting the emotional type response to, interacting with humans and co-workers and whatnot, right? Then why do you do what you do? I wonder if that's something we'll ever address, right? Will Tanya eventually have people that she cares for? Is that part of her journey here, or is that not really what we're going for? Either way, because of Tanya's inability to account for things, especially emotions of people, gets pushed in front of the train. So again, you do the cope here, which is like the kind of person that gets laid off for incompetence would be the kind of person to not be as kind of long-sighted to see that this is a bad idea to kill me. Again, taking emotional impulse over reason. Anyway, now the show does something very cool. We pause time and literally have like a conversation with God. Or the devil. Being X is what we're calling them. Essentially, God's tired of people like Tanya, right? Thinks the world's got a little bit too that way, too efficiency pilled, as I keep saying, right? Not enough care for each fellow man, but more importantly, not enough care for me. People are losing faith in the big G himself, right? So, as a kind of divine punishment for the person that represents this the very most in Tanya, we're going to put you through some shit to the point where you will come crawling back. Essentially, that's what we're trying to do. However, Tanya is a based and true Reddit atheist. I reject God's existence from both realistic and rational perspectives. I do like what they were also like trying to apply logic to the idea of God. If God did exist, he wouldn't do something this frankly ridiculous, so he must be something else. Not quite the devil either, again, being X, as we've talked about. So yeah, the dialogue goes on and on about reincarnation or whatever, but I'm more concerned about Overlord. Now I want to know about, like, who owns IP there? Why would you put an Overlord thing in this? Like, to my knowledge, like, they're not connected at all. Other than Isekai Quartet stuff, but that was later on, I thought. Unless I'm being stupid. No, that looks like an Overlord character, kinda. Or like that smudge of a person. And I think that's definitely their font that they use. Anyway, weird. Either way, shout out to Overlord. That show's fucking ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Tanya says that God's business model is also fucking failing. If you need to keep concerning yourself with reincarnation and reincarnating all these people, like, specifically if they're faithful or unfaithful or whatever, then probably it's rotten to the core, right? Again, I really want to break down this conversation because, again, it's the impetus for the entire series. Basically, Tanya's like, why should I concern myself with a higher power? I'm living a good life. I've got a good position. I'm healthy. I'm happy enough. Why should I care about you? And then God's like, oh, okay, so if I take all those things away, then maybe we can convince you to join our side a little bit more. So again, people that are normally unfaithful like you aren't reincarnated anyway, but I'll give you one shot this time, just to see if I can convince you to worship me, basically. So I get the feeling this is going to be the trend. Tanya's going to put her foot in her mouth and say something that she ends up regretting later, which causes God's wrath to double down on her. And again, it's about this grand game, this like kind of back and forth between the two to see who ultimately reigns supreme. So that's the other thing as well, right? She was awfully callous to those two dipshits last week, right? But like, it's a natural thing in an isekai world to become kind of callous about the people around you, right? They inherently, like, after you've been reincarnated once, you kind of treat life as a concept less sacredly. Like, this is a thing in a lot of shows, like especially ReZero, right? Like, maybe that's part of it. Again, Tanya already being kind of callous about the whole thing, extra callous when she's been reincarnated, like, literally. So, like, why should I care about you? You guys are basically like fake people. I just wanted to pause on this frame because it's funny. Look at her stupid hair. Hell yeah. Anyway, we get reincarnated as Tanya. It's 1913, I think, where essentially God is living up to his word. I'm going to put you in the worst situation possible. What if you were an orphan back in the day during wartime? What if that was your lot in life, you know? And again, it seems like Tanya has all her kind of capacities from when she was before, when she was a salaryman. So again, I can look at this and say, oh, war is about to happen. Oh, the nuns keep saying we have no food. Oh, I guess my life is a living hell now. That sucks. Now, interesting. I wonder if this was part of the punishment as well. Tanya has really good natural magical aptitude, right? And that kind of funnels her into the military, as was kind of the, as was the style at the time. You get conscripted and all that kind of jazz. And again, on its surface level, at least how Tanya's taking it right now, this is going to be her ticket to the top. She's going to ride this gravy train all the way where it can get her to eventually where she can be just cozy somewhere else. taking up a similar role than she had in her other life, right? Middleman, a bureaucrat, something to that effect, right? Nobody on the front lines, not doing the hard work, just me and my work, and slowly climbing that ladder through life. No God required. But again, God's probably got other plans. I put you in this situation to torment you more later on, right? Again, they see the bigger picture here, And again, I'm going to keep saying God, but I know we're going with being X. It could end up not being God, but for all intents and purposes, it is God. Like, that's an interesting line as well. I find war as a concept ultimately inefficient, so I don't like it either. I don't think killing people for the sake of whatever else we're killing people for is an efficient use of resources. But again, you still do a lot of killing. Again, I think you're just satisfying what you need to satisfy before you can go off and be on your own and do your own thing. Which again, seems like it's been achieved. You did the thing with the thing. Oh no, but there was the Deus Vault or whatever book that old mate saw, the old guy, at the end of episode 3. We'll get there. And we montage through a lot of this early content very quickly. Again, she rises through the ranks at least a little bit to the point where she's now teaching people, right? Well, we immediately get payoff to the setup last episode about then Lieutenant Colonel Eric von Rerugen, we're going to go with. This guy, Glasses Boy, from last episode, right? Where he was like, Tanya's fucking mega giga evil, and he was like scared. This is why. So the class had the goal to not be ready 5 minutes before it's time to go, so she fucking shot them with her gun, with her like super mega nuke gun. Seems fair enough. Which again, she's talking a big game. This guy then lashes out, says that she's like a little bitch or whatever. That's, disgracing a higher officer than you, according to the rules as they stand right now. I'm well within my rights to punish you. And I choose to, exercise that right. Where again, technically she isn't wrong. It is her role to discipline the troops, but probably not quite that intensely. Quickly from there, Tanya, her kind of last step in her training is to do some, I don't know what you'll call it. like intern work, is that the right word? Up in the north, like a bit of a trial run, that kind of thing, right? And again, when they're doing their trial run and all that kind of stuff, just kind of, hanging out, we run into, this seems like a character that we're setting up, right? Somebody associated with the Republic that's going to be an antagonistic force in the future, I guess. Very quickly in this sequence as well, we have Tanya promoted to second lieutenant, which is her current rank at the moment. Actually, no, I think she's first lieutenant by the end of episode 3, but I digress. Her designation at the moment is Fairy number 8, right? Which is ironic considering, I don't know. I don't know why considering she says it's ironic, but I guess maybe because it's fantastical and her situation at the moment is broadly fantastical at the moment. Something god, something fairy. Is that anything? I don't know. Or is it something like I'm a little girl, so therefore fairy is ironic? Like, did they just give me that for shits and gigs, or was that the nickname that came up? I don't know, who really cares? I'm sure you freaks at home that like this kind of stuff are really enjoying her like calling out the coordinates for the artillery and her like kind of radio speech and all that other kind of stuff. It seems pretty authentic and kind of cool. I mean, I like it. I'm just not crazy about it. Lieutenant Colonel Anson Co? Let's go with? I don't know, how do you say that? Apparently just Sue. Anson Sue, let's go with. Sure. Like, from their perspective, this was just meant to be like, somewhat tense military exercise. How did this end in so much bloodshed? Obviously, the majors are called into action in that regard. Now, this may be because it's before, but I thought these guys were the same faction, but they don't have, like, the horsies. So, what gives? They've got, like I don't know, like pogo boots or something. They look weird. So a couple things here. One, I need to keep shedding out these backgrounds because they're really quite something. Really lovely paintings. Loving them. Loving them. The clouds is a general motif for the show as well, kind of really giving it its visual kind of distinction, I think. Like, that's... If somebody showed me this screenshot, I wouldn't kind of mistake it for any other show than Tanya. I think that's very important to the overall product here. The other one is this moment here, right? Where, again, we kind of have that tension already with Anson Sue, of course, that name. Him coming through with his battalion saying that we can't quite get to the artillery, but we can get to their, like, call-out person that we can see, right? That kind of coincides with the radio kind of going all silent. It's like there's like an EMP or something in the area, and again the music goes real low as well. It really builds up really well to this moment of surprise and ambush for Tanya. And then it's, yeah, shit hits the fan, all hands on deck. I'm fighting for my life out here, man. The state of play right now is that Tanya needs to delay for 600 seconds. For those of you in the know, about 10 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad. And her equating that to her time to cook an instant meal, eat it, and clean up speaks to her breaks in her kind of salaryman job back in the day, right? Like, this is what I would take for lunch. My lunch would be 10 minutes. I would cook food, the necessary sustenance that I needed to get through the day. I'd eat it, I'd clean up, and then I'd keep working, right? Because that's how efficient I am, right? I just think that's a great character detail, and the more and more of these that come through, the more and more I like Tanya as a character, right? I can really kind of relate to that kind of person, even if I'm very much not that kind of person myself. She says that she'll see what she could do about delaying, and that kind of final call from the radio person about God being on her side. That's the thing that really tips her over and starts her being like really aggressive in this portion of the episode, right? God? Did she say God? I refuse to accept the existence of God. So let me prove that I don't need God to be on my side and prove my worth all by myself. Again, just Tanya as a character, huge chip on her shoulder. Like, at least we could relate on some things. Again, like, it may seem obvious to you, but I don't really relate to a person that's so very efficiency kind of pilled to the point of, like, internal collapse. Like, that's just not me at all. But these small touches here and there do help me empathize, I guess, right? I have a big chip on my shoulder about certain stuff, and I too can get very stubborn about stupid stuff all the time as well. So, like, again, that's kind of where I'm coming at this from, I guess. Yeah, and then she kind of goes off the deep end. I don't know about all this, like, psycho laughing crazy little girl type stuff. That's not really my bag. But I like that she's like, this represents an opportunity for me, I guess, right? This is a situation to show my worth and to prove myself. If I put it all on the line here and there, potentially I can get what I want and get that cushy job at the rear earlier than was expected, I guess. Think of this as like a faux job interview or something else where you get like put onto a project really late and to, like, you really want to show off and impress the boss. Something like that. That's how kind of Tanya's approaching this, I think. We could be making a little bit of an infinity symbol here with this stuff too, in kind of reference to the kind of reincarnation, like, Isekai idea for the show. Or maybe that's a little bit too much of a stretch. How would I describe the action here? Good. To a general high level. Dynamic. You can kind of tell what's going on. Great use of the wides. The explosion effects and the lighting are, you know, they do a lot to demonstrate what is going on and who is shooting who and where and when and why, right? Music's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that regard. Really like this continuous kind of battle motif that we are using. No notes. It's very good. Yeah, again, let me just, like, that kind of stuff, right? It's still very clear to see who is on top here, I guess, right? Slick editing here too, like just kind of from here through to the stop there to the kind of first person shot here to like, oh my god, she's behind me, the camera work there, the shake, really, really good stuff. Don't ask me why she explodes herself, I don't really get that. Again, maybe it's what I was saying before, like she wants to make like a noble escape, not quite die, but make it look like she took out a lot of them on her own and, you know, show off, I guess. Again, if you're efficiency pilled, this kind of result for her is the best of both worlds, you know? Hence the smile as she's falling. But Tanya accidentally went too hard. And we cut back here, the music's quite jovial, and I really like the tone of like, oh no, I fucked up, I did too good, they now think I'm the ace, and they're going to put me into war. That's again where we attach ourselves into the events of episode 1, right? Where again, we're going to put you here because you've demonstrated a knack for this kind of stuff, right? As opposed to what my goal was, which was to injure myself, but injure myself in a valiant way to the point where I could just kind of walk away. So again, kind of backfired. And the music playing here for that kind of Schadenfreude-esque comedy type stuff, I think that's quite good. And again, this being that final connection, finally receiving the silver wings, which will become part of her kind of designation going forward. And in the episode here on The Joke, I wonder if there's a child protection agency I can go talk to. Maybe needing that god after all, huh? We seem to be doing this a lot. We're ending the episodes on a cliffhanger, a little bit of a tease, a hook for the next one, right? Here we get introduced to Mad Scientist Guy. That'll be one of the kind of major characters next episode, right? Similar for the end of episode 3, there's that kind of document that Old Mate finds that I'll have a little bit more of a thorough look on when we finish that episode. Again, I like a show that hooks me in to watch another episode, right? Makes it feel very Moorish. Some of my favorite stuff on the channel did stuff like that. Symphogear, notorious for it. Notorious for the cliffhangers, right? So yeah, just good stuff. Good adaptation stuff, because I'm not going to imagine that they have these kind of cliffhangers in the kind of novel proper, I guess. It's a good adaptation detail, I think. And in the episode, we have like a photo shoot or something. I guess this is just meant to be like Gap Moe type BS, even though that's not quite the right word, because normally that's a little bit more cute than evil, but anyway, there's still a difference in perception and reality for the character as it stands right now. Like dressing like the goth girl in the cutesy dress. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's that kind of vibe to it, I guess. And again, implementing some of the fashion styles at the time, and even a little bit of Hana Kotoba here for those that are particularly knowledgeable about that stuff. It's quite a bit here. I like this as a little kind of tease post-credit. May even speak to a little bit of a Visha kind of a Tanya connection, you know? Yeah, how often do we really think we're going to see Tanya looking like that? And of course, Aoyuki killing the voice on that one too. Straight into the next episode now, named Deus Vult, of course, or Vult, I believe we called it. God wills it is what we kind of designate that as later on. Tanya is being rewarded for her efforts in episode 1, I think is the framing here, and being moved to a tactical instructor squad position back home. Now, Tanya needs to thread a needle here. She can't look too excited to, you know, be sent back home and, you know, be behind enemy lines and not be on the front lines and that kind of stuff, considering her status. But she can't be too negative on the new stuff either, because they will, you know, perceive her as disappointed and want to move her back to the front lines as a result. She needs to make it seem like she's following orders and being a good soldier, but not too happy about being out of the firing line, I guess. Especially for somebody that is known as an ace, right? We want these kind of people on the front lines if possible. I wonder if this be explored in more detail in the show, but people often underestimate and, what's the word? Account for Tanya because of her age and gender, right? It would look bad if we had you on the front lines, right? It would reflect poorly on our military, on our ethics, on this, on that, on all that kind of stuff. I think this is an interesting lens, and I wonder if we'll dive into it more as the show continues. Like, how does Tanya feel about having it easy because of who she is? You know, that didn't happen in her previous life because she seemed to be a man. So, like, you know, she never had to go through this kind of stuff before. I don't know. Are we going to talk about that at all? Or is this not that kind of show? It's briefly mentioned here that Tanya's going to be testing a new type of computation jewel, a prototype, an experimental prototype. So, again, that seems pretty easy, pretty nice stuff. Oh fuck, I'm like literally flying through the air and shit sucks. Look at this frame, that's pretty funny actually. Very, very cool. Kind of ending right before the opening of her like exploding in the sky into nothing. Oh my god, Tanya died. Oh no. Now we have an opening to look at. I wonder if I have lyrics, because I'll do the lyrics before the visuals, because that's generally the direction I like to go with it. Don't go away, there's nowhere to hide. Oh why, you're crying, laugh, go mad. Yeah, a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek tone to it. Very aggressive, very edgy, for lack of a better term. Coming up, the eyes of bloodlust, faced with fresh prey, getting aroused. Aroused? I hope not. I certainly hope not. Not enough. We haven't taken enough lives to attain joy. Jesus. We are all the jingos. Oh? What are the jingos? Indulge in your beastly desire. We are the jungle. Oh. Come sharpen your fangs and let's see who can kill more. Ah, we are the jingos. We are the jungle, or in the jungle, excuse me. And yeah, that's kind of the end of the opening there from the lyrics perspective. What the fuck is a jingo? Oh, like jingoism. Oh, okay. Interesting. A vociferous supporter of a policy favoring war, especially in the name of patriotism. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I guess I probably could have picked that up somewhere along the way. So again, we're like jingos in the jungle and we're fucking murdering everybody. And that's also the wrong episode. I've got spurs, the jingle, jangle, jingle. I guess. Anyway, here's the opening from a visual perspective. So very muddy, very grayscale, a lot of kind of filters and textures put over a lot of things. We have kind of a collage of war, I guess, opening us up to a little bit of Visha there in the background and a lot of Tanya. Kind of a two Tanyas looking at each other, kind of spinning around into a look at a lot of the side characters, most of them saluting and looking at the kind of graves of the dead. I guess this is more like setting, I guess, location setting. Like, this is the world we live in, this is the reality of war, all that other kind of stuff, right? You know, it's an evocative image, I guess. Is this going to give us an indicator of who's going to be important? Is this fucking the Schwarzkopf guy? Because that's Visha. Who are you? Who is Mr. Eyes over here? I don't know. We then have a pretty obvious transitional shot from Tanya as a child here to Tanya donning the uniform and the hat. And I thought the toy soldier here was an interesting touch for kind of the kind of medium through which God speaks, right? It's this perfect intersection of a lot of the show's themes, right? We have Tanya, this kind of younger character, right? Probably is partial to toys and that kind of stuff, but we're subverting it, right? What if toy but evil? What if toy but omnipotent and all-powerful? What if little girl but really good at war and actually salaryman? Again, I just think it's in fitting with the rest of the kind of the tone of the show. It could also be something like this higher power treating us like toys, like I am the toy soldier in the eyes of this higher power that's just kind of being moved around for their amusement, and how do I feel about that? That could definitely be a lens as well. Either way, Tanya doesn't seem that chuffed about it and decides to shoot. And again, it's at that point that we deny what that toy is asking for, what being X is asking for, and, you know, going and getting it ourselves, right? That's kind of this portion of the opening, what that's meant to represent. And yeah, we see at the center of everything, right? She's going to be the face of this damn country, damn it. Whether she fucking likes it or not. So correct me if I'm wrong, is this guy not the same guy as last time? And his hand on the barbed wire is kind of cool too. Is this like the logo for that kind of Republic type people? I guess so. The Entente Alliance, or whatever we're calling them. Yeah, I hope that guy recurs. I think it's this, like, scar here. Anton was his name. Anton Shu! Like Ronaldo. Jesus. Yeah, they're pretty banging opening. I do love me some Myth and Roid as well. Song's pretty cool. Back into the show proper. Tanya is in the middle of a crazy science man experiment, and when she asks for it to stop, he doubles down. Can't you go any higher? Theoretically, you should be able to reach 18,000 meters. Again, you may feel like it's unstable and that you're about to die, but you'll be fine. Trust me. Would you trust this man? Right here? Would you trust this man? I certainly wouldn't. He looks like Krusty the Clown. And yeah, you've got no chance of me remembering your name. You're the crazy scientist guy. That's your designation for sure. Again, the animation through this sequence is just still really wonderful. Like, this whole, like, kind of... Look at the camera there. Holy fuck. It's very, very impressive. I do like this kind of overall technology and it kind of representing an upgrade for Tanya and her combat prowess later on. I think that's another pretty smart thing that we're doing. And yeah, just like last time, even though she thinks that it won't happen, there's still a big explosion midair, causing her to fucking die. And again, this is what I mean. I like seeing... I think the show would be fucking boring if it was like how episode 1 presented itself, I guess, right? Just Tanya, never checked, always on top, always wins despite being evil as fuck and loving it. I think that's just the worst product. I like seeing Tanya taking down a peg here, right? Like, spinning the dummy, throwing all this crap away, right? This is as defective as an Italian red devil, she says, which I should look up. So an Italian red devil is essentially a hand grenade, and again, there's a lot of history here, but Italians didn't have, like, the best stuff, like, during major world conflicts generally, for a myriad reasons. And these things are pretty fucking dangerous, to the point where they got the nickname Red Devils from I believe, the British later more than anything else, right? Because, again, they're dangerous even when unexploded, right? They're just kind of like full of shrapnel, ready to go. Who knows what's going to happen with them? They're kind of unpredictable, right? Again, maybe I didn't explain that particularly well, but again, I kind of get what she's getting at here. Dangerous for all involved, I guess. Oh yeah, look at Tanya's strut here. Hell yeah. Loved this this cut. Yeah, look at that stuff. Hell fucking yeah. Either way, this guy's being a little bitch. There's a lot of really fun cuts here through time as, like, he continues berating her about this kind of stuff. Very, very cool. Her kind of changing out of those clothes and into another set while he continues to just, like, say words. Chief word sayer over here. Again, blaming this thing on operator error more than my invention being kind of shit. Tanya then invokes Murphy's Law somewhat, spits the dummy even again, and goes to write a letter basically demanding that she goes to the front lines. And again, the same theme coming through. I actually have a daughter about her age, so I should do this. I should let her do what she wants and this kind of stuff, right? Feeling a little bit of sympathy towards her based on age and gender. Essentially, Tanya gets her way completely, right? She'll go back to the front lines, do her job there, because, again, she thought that this was going to be all hunky-dory, but it wasn't. So again, do my time there, get a cushy job back home, be fine, right? Also, just for a bonus, that guy's funding's been frozen. This project will never see the light of day. It's all coming up Tanya at the moment. If only there was somebody that could change these kind of circumstances and make them all way more negative. From this kind of interaction, you get the feeling that Tanya in the previous life was a big fucking tattletale, like, you know, brown noser, ass kisser type, like, teacher's pet, you know, that kind of vibe to her, I think. And yeah, like I said, right when everything seems to be going well, Being X interferes and changes the course. Again, Tanya still talking a big game, big chip on her shoulder, all that other kind of stuff. Again, you're not one to take this lying down. Again, continuing to say that I'm not desperate enough to, you know, praise God, accept help from God, all these other kind of things, right? I intended to keep my interference to a minimum, but foolish little lambs need to be shown the way. Like the false shepherd himself, oh my god. Yeah, she definitely teased him up. If she just shut her mouth sometimes, I think she'd do a lot better. Or lied. You could also lie. Like, just say, yeah, dude, I totally believe in you. And then just go off and do whatever else you need to do. But I guess, like, being deceitful and that kind of stuff isn't particularly in your wheelhouse either. It's not really your MO. God's little piece of interference here seems to be framed as a blessing. A miracle of sorts, right? Where again, Tanya's very much like, miracles aren't real, it's just science. Lame, you're lame. And I think this was the kind of straw that broke the camel's back. The act of violence on the idol of God himself. Of course, you know, there's going to be repercussions. So maybe this is even the first miracle, right? Think about the lighting, the framing here, right? Like, she smashed that doll just then, right? And then it's just fine the next day. This shows the level of power I have with this kind of stuff. I'm able to fix defective things immediately and make them work. I don't know, just a thought. And yeah, we get a kind of sinister, creepy tone from here as Tanya finds what has changed. One, there's this note left here, Deus le vult. Now we're going for an ult, excuse me. Deus le ult. I don't know, that's a weird one. Why the "the", guys? Come on now. Either way, it seems to be Latin, I guess, for God wills it. If God wills it, it shall be. And again, you're going to find that this person is omnipotent. They have superpowers. They're crazy. And again, you're just fighting against fate in a way, trying to find some piece of land to stand on. Essentially, we're straight back out to it. The scientist guy's back. You need to do some more testing. That's the vibe at the moment. So funding's been frozen, but we're still going for the time being, I guess. I came to me in a dream. There's some new technology that we should try out. Tanya feels as though the gem is unstable again. It's going to explode. Like the two other times, remember our Rule of 3 is going on as well. But the doctor assures her everything's going to be fine. Where are you getting the confidence? Again, God showed me. God showed me in a dream. Very biblical. A divine inspiration, divine intervention. The God of inventions themselves revealed themselves to me. Doctor, I thought you were an atheist. Well, I'm a devout believer now. Again, Tanya, remind you of anybody? And even this guy, right? Tanya, you best become a believer as well, otherwise we'll both end up being martyrs here. Oh my god. That's kind of a hard line, I like that. Again, the reading's off the chart. Thing seems like it's gonna fucking explode. The safety's not working, the tension's ratcheting up. Seems like a good opportunity to pray, Tanya, right? Why don't you pray for your own safety here, to not die? That'd be a nice thing, right? And yeah, screaming out to the heavens about being set up by being X here. And even kind of that crucifix pattern on the explosion there. Very, very cool. God pauses time again and essentially gives her the instruction manual, right? So this thing, it's fucking amazing. It's the best computation jewel out there, the best kind of magic user type gear. Awesome, right? One catch. You just need to pray every single time you want to use it, right? And again, we unpause time. God kind of the really big toy soldier here being part of the framing too is really, really fun. If we pop back here, yeah, really, really big in the framing there. Very cool. Even the swan there could be something too. Or duck, whatever that bird is. Again, flying being a general part of the metaphor there, like time stopping and flying, that could be part of it. Either way, this is a setup. Like, you're going to have to praise me every single time you want to use this thing. So again, now what's God going to do? What is being X going to do to Tanya next? Put her in lots of opportunities for her to need to use this thing. I'm going to break you down eventually, right? You're my plaything, remember? God's miracles are great. His name's great. We love God. All that other kind of shit. And then, yeah, the thing works instantly. She powers up. Hey, maybe praising God's okay. Kind of synchronizing that with her moving up through the sky too, like an angel rising up into heaven or something. And again, like, at least Tanya didn't die, but she's deeply, deeply disappointed that she had to pray. Scientist dude seems happy, but again, as I said, Tanya now refers to her jewel as a curse. From here, we pop back to the front lines and in the Rhine Theatre, all that other kind of stuff, where we get a glimpse of Tanya still even now praying ever so slightly to get that little bit of power. So now this may be timeline stuff. So did all that take place before episode 1 still? And is this the jump back forward? Maybe. I think that might be the idea here. Because again, it didn't seem like you were aware of Visha and her kind of stuff before this point either. And again, being reintroduced to her once again, her like kind of character design's very... I like it. It's just odd looking. Something about the eyes and the mouth and stuff. She's very fish-like. But not in a way I don't like. I don't know. I think she's cute. And either way, she's very sheepish at the moment because she watched Tanya fucking kill those two guys before. So, fair enough. Didn't really have much to say about this sequence where they're kind of talking about Tanya. Like, it's more just for the audience, I think, just setting up exposition type stuff. Unless, again, many of these characters come back in a big way. I must say that this guy that's talking right now, he's kind of in the, kind of end credits. He's like the big kind of, next time on type shit, so maybe he's more important. Rare again just has broad doubts about Tanya and her ability to be a normal human. Back to Tanya and Visha. Again, Visha's very funny. She just like thinks Tanya's like this, because she has... The first episode is in her perspective, right? So she has that same perspective that we had, right? That Tanya's super evil and callous and cruel and stuff. And it's very funny to see her very much like this, when we know now from our experience with Tanya in the next 2 episodes that she would never punish a person like Visha, right? Earnest, trying hard, genuinely, shows improvement, can listen to instruction. I don't know. It seems like you two, you're the type of person that Tanya would respect, I feel. We see this evidenced in the dialogue. Just a few months ago, you were so new to this that you could barely fly. And now look at you. I'm willing to, fast track you on to be an officer, right? I wonder if we'll dive more back into this, right? Because it seems like a big part of this is that, like, we're sending Visha here because I'm going back to the capital as well. Again, that's kind of like this scene here is very much like dress boob joke McGee type stuff, but it's also like campus life. We're going to be rooming together. Is that part of the plan there? Is that something that you would like, Tanya? Maybe. I don't know. And again, even that joke there, like, where I'm going, right, I'm not going to be bombarded with artillery. Tanya didn't answer the question, though. That's all I'm trying to say. But again, just talks to your level of suspicion about Tanya doing anything nice for anybody. Just don't say that God is real stuff around her. She may not be that happy about that side of it. So yeah, now we're going to university. That's kind of what the higher-ups decided that I should do in their big meeting, right? We're going to send you back to school. And again, you think that's going to be really cushy and stuff. We'll see. God wills it and all that. Ending this conversation with Schwarzkopf as well, being like, hey, God's with us, right? And it's like, yeah, with us, I don't know. And again, you seem really happy about not needing to use this new kind of computation gem, or jewel, whatever we're calling them. When you're studying, right? I won't have to praise God again and again. It's all coming together, right? So again, Tanya here looks really smug and stuff, right? But there's this ominous tone to the scene back here with this guy. And again, we'll find out. We need this agile mobile unit on the front lines. How we're going to, get that. Probably Tanya, I'll say. And here it is, Deus le Alt on the piece of paper. Hey, if I'm going to need like a rapid response unit against somebody mobile on the front lines, Tanya's probably the one to call. I've definitely seen this like smug Tanya with the cup as well. I've seen that somewhere, just in my travels on the internet. Again, we'll leave the specifics of whatever that big reveal means till next week. And we'll also leave the ED. We'll do the lyrics and stuff in a little bit. I'm 99% sure it's Aoyuki's voice, I think, at least in some portions of it. Yeah, some of it is just like straight up lines from her, so like, and the vocal sounds like her. We're gonna imagine it's the case. And again, as I went into the post-credit scene, seems like these two are gonna be rooming together to the point where we're doing like boob jokes and stuff. So fair enough. Campus life next week. So yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about the show with some semblance of authority now. I have a better understanding of what it even is. And again, we've talked about the benefits and the disadvantages of presenting the information this way, I guess. I think we ended up being okay, and I like what the show turned into more than what I thought it was. So that's a positive change regardless. Production's still really good on this thing. It's starting to become quite funny. I like this back and forth between being X and Tanya. I think that's a cool dynamic. Again, really speaks to this kind of higher power sense of many isekai, right? Where there are characters that control these things and push people into certain situations and control the isekai itself even, right? That's always been the kind of stuff I gravitated towards with these kind of shows. Less the tits and ass and whatever else you normally get. So, hey, sure, add this to like the smarter isekai pile, I guess. With that being said, next week we'll see whatever the hell else is going on, this grand battle waging between God and Tanya. And Visha, whatever Visha's doing along on the campus as well. Hopefully she stays in the show. I really like her. I think she's very cool. Either way, 2 more episodes next week. Patreon if you want to be 1 week ahead. Like the video, subscribe. Discord if you want to talk to me about the show. And I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.